Hello everyone and welcome to my review of set 75300, the Imperial TIE Fighter. Now this is the downscale TIE Fighter that they released for $40 United States currency. So, it's downsized, it's got 432 pieces, but is that necessarily a bad thing? Now this set does come with a TIE Fighter pilot, right? It does have the, silver markings along the helmet because it's of the newer generation that came out sometime between, I don't know, let's just say for numbers' sake, 2016 to 2018, because I know that in the 2018 TIE Fighter, it did have that updated look. It might have been a little bit before that, but generally expect that frame. We do also have the N1LO, which is the little bit of an Imperial droid here. We also have the Stormtrooper. Casual Stormtrooper has the updated helmet, but that's about it. We see the TIE Fighter here with shooting out a spring-loaded shooter, Death Star in the background, some explosions scattered between, and the greebling with Darth Vader in the corner. If I turn the box around, we can see some of the inner workings, like how we have the spring-loaded shooters there, and we also have the cockpit which opens and closes. First up is the TIE Fighter pilot. Now, this TIE Fighter pilot, like I mentioned, has the interesting little silver lines that go through the mouthpiece from the top of the forehead area. There are the Imperial insignias, and it looks like he's a bit tired because of the way the eye holes are made. Now, there's not too much detail there except for an extra silver on the mouth itself. The rounded sides are pretty standard. You've got the bit of a bump there and then it goes back. You do have a bit of skin or head showing through there. There's no hair on this guy for... He has a standard Imperial face. Now, this isn't the angry clone that we're used to, but, ever since, they made, a slight switch, they're now adding more character into these guys, which is good, right? We want more expressions on these guys, right, to kind of distinguish them from one another. It also does make it a bit more difficult if you have multiple, just trying to rummage through and finding a specific one. But there you go. He's got a bit of detail on his chest there. He's got the whole breathing apparatus there with a little bit lower. You've got his belt. A lot of detail on the breathing apparatus, which is very nice, because there's a lot of stuff there that you need to have, so. And then there's just, his legs are pretty basic, not too much detail, but it's enough detail that it's kind of nice to have there, NIL-8, on the other hand, is a bit more like C-3PO, except he's got the bug head, right? Because Imperial droids, or at least some droids like that, have this little bug head. It's very difficult to see maybe on camera, but he does have some eye slits and a bit of, paneling there. He does have this, interesting T-shaped mouth. And, honestly, there's not too much detail on the head, which is probably very disappointing for a lot of you, myself included. The torso, meanwhile, does have a lot of detail. It's got a lot of nice, silver detail with some wires coming out. The back of it also has that same style of detailing, which is very nice. Consistency is very nice. And for the legs, it's a little bit detailed, right? It's got some detail. It's a bit different than the Imperial pilot because it has way more silver, and the design of it is a bit different, but you get the picture. The Stormtrooper, meanwhile, is definitely interesting. He's standard, and the helmet is, well, very unusable. It looks good, but it's really just not that great. So I'm going to pop it off, or at least attempt to. You can see a bit more of a childish face there. It's not childish in the sense that it looks more of like a baby face. You've got... It just appears young, to put it lightly. You've got the standard, outfit, with the small little bits of black to identify where the armor, or, the undershirt, or, the underclothing for the armor is. It's a pretty standard Stormtrooper. I don't think I have to tell you much, because these guys are in a lot of sets, so you're probably tired of me explaining these guys. The design of the TIE Fighter, all in all, is actually pretty nice. Now, I think for downscale TIE Fighter, this works really well, especially after they introduced this new piece right here, which allows for great connection. Now, these wings attach really easily, right? I did remove a clip because it didn't come out seamlessly, right? But very easy to attach which the plus side of that is that adds a lot of playability, because if you have yourself any kind of X-Wing or other rebel vehicle, right, you can be flying in here, you could shoot off a wing, and it's not that difficult to put back. So it means that you can actually use that as a play function rather than just being the assembly method. So that's just a nice thing to design. The unfortunate part about the wings, I've put this one backwards, I've just realized, but these little gray bits. These gray bits are very annoying because they could have just made the piece in light gray, but because it's in dark gray, you lose out on a lot of that consistency, and because it's such a contrast compared to the light gray of the situation, it kind of puts your eye there, and it's very unappealing. The back is also somewhat unappealing just because of how it's made. You've got this like piece there which doesn't look great. If you just look at it head on, it doesn't look good at all. And although the turbo, well, like the turbo or the engine looks alright, this back panel, just because of how this top panel has to be, it just doesn't like flow well, to be fairly honest. Now, the side of the wings are pretty well detailed. You know, you've got most, if not all, of the detail that should be there, so that's pretty nice. You know, you do have, I believe this is a sticker, this is a while since the set was built, but you get the picture, right? So you do got that sticker, but it does look nice. You have to admit that it does look accurate to a TIE fighter. And now the front. The front, you know, it has the same cockpit, and the roof, well, the roof has this bit of an edging issue where this is just too much of an edge to really be the nicest thing ever. Now, you do have some buttons in the cockpit, which is very nice. You know, you do get some detail there, but it's very cramped, and it makes sense. But surprisingly, if I actually get the Sith TIE Fighter that's over on my other shelf, it's actually way less cramped than that, because as you can probably tell, there's just enough space to barely fit a minifigure in there. Meanwhile, this one actually seems to have at least some more space. It's still, because you've got like a three area surface, because you've got a 2x2 tile. I actually did not know that it was that flimsy, because the whole bottom section fell off. But actually, that's pretty useful, because you can kind of see there's this one large tile, and then there's that, while the other one just has one of those a 1x2 tile, and then also one of those 1x2 tiles with the attachment that allows you to just place the legs in there. So yeah, I actually didn't know how spacious this one is. So that means if you're getting this one, you're going to have a lot easier time putting your minifigure in there. But as we've seen, there's also a downside to pressing a little bit too hard, and the fact that that can just fall off entirely. Didn't know about that, but you know, we learn a lot about these things, you and me, from just experiencing what it is about this set in more detail. So I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye. I hope you enjoyed the video, right? Standard outro stuff. I'm still pretty bad at these. I should probably cut the video. So I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.